welcome all of you wherever you are. On behalf of Jessie, who is playing from Philadelphia, Jonathan, who is our sound engineer, controlling everything from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Karina, my wife, and myself here in the mountains of Costa Rica, in the village, ecological village where we live. We want to welcome you. And we hope that we can overcome the technology that wasn't easy for me, and at the same time to take the magic. There are hundreds of people here from many, many cities in different countries. So we are going to embrace this technology as the magic that helps us to be together. Anyway, everything is weird in these moments. So we hope one day to be physically together, but in this moment we're spiritually together. So let's overcome the screen, let's overcome the cables. I invite you to sing with me, with us, to be in the spirit of this magical moment. This day of Yom Kippur that for us, we are already in the Yom Kippur mode for so many days, feeling the presence to be able to prepare this experience for you. So let's be open. Let's open our hearts. Let's open our minds. And let's be grateful. And the day starts with counting the blessings. And this beautiful High Holidays music that just introduced us to the prayer experience goes into the blessings that we say about differentiation. We have this almost funny blessing when we say thank you to God for giving the rooster the capacity to distinguish between day and night. It's a way that the tradition tells us, let's remember that not everything is the same. Not everything is the same. Because if everything is the same, nothing matters. So after saying the blessing, I invite you to say it with me. Just let's think in silence. What we would like to differentiate during this Yamim Noraim, during this Yom Kippur day. Baruch At Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasechvi vina leavchin bein yom uven laila. Just pay attention to what is it that you would like to distinguish, to differentiate in this Yom Kippur day. As we hear the birds that I hope are coming through the mic. Just stay for a moment. Reagen, what you would like to differentiate, to distinguish during this Yom Kippur day. as we are from people around the world, I would like so much to imagine where you are, your homes, where you're seated. There are some people that I know that are here, so I can imagine their homes. So I'm going to imagine, because our homes, our cushions, our chairs, our armchairs, our sofa beds are our temples in this moment. And the prayer that Jessie began to play is about pausing. The capacity to pause and to contemplate. On this Shabbat Shabbaton, this greatest Shabbat that is Yom Kippur, and we dedicate this day of sitting to forgiveness and atonement. Do you understand how incredible it is? That we have a tradition that tells us forgiveness deserves a day. And during this day, don't eat, don't drink. Be inside. And understand that forgiveness is an incredible place to go. So I invite you to sit, yoshvei, to be yoshvei, as the text says, to sit in a position that you're comfortable, but at the same time, with your back straight if you can, not slouching, with your back straight. In the position that conveys commitment and presence, where we welcome our whole body in an awakened position. As I said, a chair, a sofa, the floor, the ground if you're outdoors. A place where you feel stable, solid, and comfortable. And the Ashrei says joyous, happy are those who dwell in the house. In this case, it's in the house of God. But we are all embodying this house in our bodies, in the way we treat our bodies, and in the ways we experience our dwellings. Because dwellings is the place, is the name also in Hebrew for Shekhinah, for the divine spirit, for bringing matter, for bringing transcendence into our homes. So for the joyous capacity to pause. Yalelucha Selah, Yalelucha Selah, Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha. Yalelucha Selah, Yalelucha Selah. Let's pause. Let's pause. Let's take a deep breath. Let's inhale the capacity to pause, to sit, to contemplate. really hope you're listening to the birds. And the Barhu is the blessing of giving blessings. Because it says, let us bless. And there's so many ways to give a blessing. There's a blessing where we say, Barhu et, blessed is God. But what about the blessing that we give to our children, sometimes taking the head of them, and we just say a wish? What about the blessing when we say and we convey to a loved one, I want to say something, please pay attention to me? And those words that we know that we are elevating the other one, and we're elevating ourselves, and we bring a blessing to the equation. So Baruch is for the capacity to give blessings. So it's traditional to bow during the Baruch prayer. About this blessing, about giving blessing. I invite you to choose a direction where you are going to be facing towards. I'm going to rise. If you can rise, if you feel like it also, please do so. And the Baruch Baruch et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Vaed. Let's pause in silence. One of the most important blessings is to be able to listen. The Shema is by far one of the most important prayers in the Jewish tradition. It's a call to stop our chatter. It is as if God is saying to us, just shut up for a moment. Just stop. The train of thought, the train of narrative. Stop the chatter and listen. So I would like to ask Karina to lead us into the Shema moment.
Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way, and listen, listen to your soul. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Just stop all the chatter that gets in the way, and listen, listen to your soul. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
We speak in Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur that we want to be remembered. Everybody wants to be remembered. We want to be remembered for life. That's what the Sefer HaChaim is, the book of life. The book of life. Now we say that we are people who honor the past and history, but we are people of destiny. We believe that there's a direction where we're going. A direction where we're going. And sometimes we don't understand the direction, like to Abraham, God says, Lech Lecha, go, without giving a map or a GPS, nothing. We just go. Because we know that there is a path, there is a way, there is a destiny. So we want to be remembered for life, not only by the divine, but also by our loved ones, by our friends, by our co-workers. We're all about life. That's why in these moments of COVID, it's so difficult to be distant, and we are suffering so much because we don't know if we are being remembered. So let's pray about the memory, but the memory that comes with participation, with being present. זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים. זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים. וכותבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. למענך אלוהים חיים. But what about if there is a judge? What about if there is an orech din? We say, don't be judgmental. Don't be judgmental. To be judgmental doesn't have a good PR. But we are saying in Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, there is a judge. And to be accountable means that our actions matter. And in this moment, I want to honor the memory of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a Supreme Court Justice of the US, a woman who has inspired a generation of judges, of lawyers, and of people towards equality and justice. She reminds us what is to be a judge. Maybe she was a glimpse of what we expect the judge to be about. The fact that there is a judge, as I said, it means that we matter. That not everything is the same. So I'm asking the question, what do we feel we deserved to be judged for? What do we deserve to be judged for? Pay attention to whatever is emerging for you. Yom Kippur is a chance to transform our embarrassment into a new opportunity for the future. Let's be honest. While Jessie plays this beautiful melody for Leil Orech Din, what is it that we need to be judged for? With compassion, with loving kindness. If there is accountability, what have we done that is a heavy load in our chest? Let's remember that we all make mistakes. There are no saints here. Whatever we're carrying on, let's face it with compassion. לבבות ביומדי יררה 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 Yarara, 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 yarara. Jessie, keep playing, please. Keep playing the Leil Orech Din. And one more round. Thank you, Jessie. Let emerge whatever we are carrying. This music that is sweet and full of compassion. The tension, the creative tension between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is the creative tension between judgment and compassion. In Rosh Hashanah is Yom Adin. The new year is Yom Adin, the day of judgment. Also, the symbolic anniversary of the creation of the world, which means Rosh Hashanah has to do with recreation. But it's Yom Adin, the day of judgment. And Yom Kippur is the day of atonement, of forgiveness. So we move from judgment to compassion. We want to be taken and forgiven with compassion. So how do we manage our judgment with a compassionate spirit? How do we move from the chair of judgment to the chair of compassion? Immediately, when we know that there is an orech din, a judge, we ask for compassion. Nobody goes happy singing to meet the judge when we know we may have done something wrong. We are here in this day of Yom Kippur to be about truth-telling. But truth-telling doesn't have to be accompanied by humiliation. Judgment and compassion are not necessarily opposites. And this is a moment to ask ourselves, how do we embody compassion towards others? Are we the ones who believe in tough love? Or we can say the truth with compassion. With compassion, with love, and with honesty. So imagine that compassion is a landscape. Where are we in the compassion landscape? And we ask God to be el-Rahum v'Chanun, that there is a force in the universe. If you have problems with God, call it something else. There is a force in the universe for compassion, and we want to be taken with love, with faithfulness. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Hapayim, V'Rav Chesed v'Emet, Notzer Chesed l'alafim, Nose Avon v'Fesha, V'Chata v'Nakeh. So let's sit for a moment in silence, hopefully listening to the birds. And imagine there are two chairs in front of you. The chair of judgment and the chair of truth-telling, but with compassion. Where do you feel that you sit more comfortably? What is your natural place? And can we be what we ask the divine to be, to welcome others with compassion? Let's sit for a moment in this creative tension between judgment and compassion. The liturgy is so inviting. And here in this experience, we're taking different moments of the liturgy and make it personal and staying in them with silence also. Everybody wants to be listened to and to be seen. When I was a rabbi in my synagogue in a Jesuit in Manhattan, when I was a pulpit rabbi, there was a retired rabbi, Rabbi Sidney Greenberg, Alav Shalom. He was very old, very frail at the end. And every Shabbat I had a tradition with him. I would say, Sidney, Shabbat Shalom. It's so good to see you. And he will respond always the same. Marcelo, it's so good to be seen. It's so good to be seen. It's so good to be heard. And this is what the Shema Koleinu is all about. It's a plea. Plea. Listen our voice. Listen our voice in mystery. Listen our voice. Meaning beyond absurdity. Listen to our cry in this moment of despair, of anxiety, of not knowing what is going to happen, of being united all over the world, something that is happening to all of us. And we don't know exactly when this is going to end. So we are united. And we want our voices to be heard and to be seen. Shema Koleinu. Shema Koleinu Adonai Eloheinu, Chus v'rachem aleinu, v'kabel v'rachamim uveratzon et tefilateinu. Ashivenu Adonai Elecha Venashuva Chadesh Yameinu We say to this force, to the meaning beyond absurdity, to the mystery above and behind all rationalizations. We say, do not cast us away from you. Take not your holy presence from us. Do not cast us away when we grow old. Do not desert us as our energy wanes. Let's be in silence for a moment, just paying attention to the desire to be heard, to be seen, to count, to be present, to matter. Just let's be in silence with that for a moment. The liturgy, it's a mirror to the soul. And has a prayer that is so powerful. All of them are powerful, but the Shamnu. The Shamnu, it's part of what is called the Vidui, the confession. Shamnu and Al-Khed, there are two confessions that we repeat many times during Yom Kippur. It's the acknowledgement of our frailty and our vulnerability, because we're all broken and we make mistakes. This is an equal opportunity human experience. It's a big equalizer of our shared humanity. We all make mistakes. And we say things that are terrible. Hashamnu, Bagadnu, we have abused, we have betrayed, we have been cruel, we have killed, we have terrible things. But we said with this soft music, as if, like in Pesach, in Passover, to put the charose, to put the sweetness into the maror, into the bitterness of what we're saying. So this is the list that the tradition puts there about mistakes or failures. I always ask people to be honest. This doesn't have to be the list. This is a list. We all have our own lists for the Shamnu. So let's make the vidui, the confession of Yom Kippur, an invitation to navigate in the backpack. We all have a backpack of mistakes, of pains, of shame, of regret, of guilt. We all have it. It's part of being human. It's no escape. So invite us to think, what is your list? If you would rewrite the Ashamnu for yourself with the experience that you have, what would you put there? And it's interesting because it's a deeply personal prayer. Imagine singing out loud your mistakes in front of everybody, and everybody with the same tone, same melody, but different text. This is what it is. It's personal and public at the same time. So let's create a list in our minds of what we are ashamed of. As the music of the Ashamnu will begin to play and the text is there, let's create a list. Just for a moment. Go over the backpack of shame, of regret, of embarrassment. Why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why didn't I say something? Why did I use that tone? Why did I send that email with the CC? You know, CC has become the newest way of spread gossip. Why did I CC that person when I didn't have to? So just create your own list. It's traditional to do like this. Shamanu Bagadanu Gazalanu Dibaranu Opi Yarai Rai 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 Yararai Rai Rai Yararai Yairai Evidu Veireshanu Zadanu Hamasanu Tafaranu Sheker Yatsnu Ra Kizavanu Latsnu Maradnu Niyatsnu Yarai Rarai Rai Yararai Yairai Yararai Yairai Sararanu Avinu Pashanu Sararanu Kishinu Ore Rashanu Shihadanu Tiavanu Tainu Titanu And I'm going to say now a special Ashamnu in English. So I invite you, if you agree, to say Amen to at the end of each, which means yes, I agree. Okay, it means yes, I agree. And at the end, we will have the possibility of thinking what you would like to say I'm sorry for. Jessie, let's start. I am sorry, so sorry for being cynical and condescending, for enjoying putting people down. I am sorry, so sorry for always being busy and absent and paying attention more to my devices than to what really is happening around me. I am sorry, so sorry for being unaware of my privilege and how my ignorance fosters systemic racism and not fully taking responsibility. I am sorry, so sorry for Mother Earth and the forest and animals that get destroyed by the way we live our comfortable lives. I am sorry. And while Jessie keeps playing, please say what you're sorry for. Be real, be personal, be intimate. Stay with that list just for a few seconds. ועל כולם מלוא סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו. And for all these mistakes, gotten you, for all these mistakes, for everything that we have done, we tried to aim in the right direction, but we failed. Forgive us. Pardon us. Grant us atonement. Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur departs from the spiritual premise that by facing our vulnerability, we gain our strength. With Karina, with my wife, this year, we were going to do a Yom Kippur Mindfulness retreat in a retreat center here in the mountains. And the idea was to do 2 days before Yom Kippur, and 3 days after, to put it back the pieces together. And then COVID, and of course, nothing was able to happen like that, and we created the Teshuvah Basel process. But there is an anecdote. I'm calling this retreat center, and I'm telling what is this retreat about, and explain what Yom Kippur is about. Explain about atonement and forgiveness to this person who never heard of this before. And after a while, the person is in silence. He's a witness to me. He's in silence and he says, "Rabbi, can I ask you a question?" "Yes, of course." "And you guys do this every year?" It was such a wonderful question. Can you imagine we do this every year? Every year we have a ritual. We have ritualized the idea that facing our vulnerability is the only way to return to our home, spiritual home, and to regain our strength. That the strength is in the courage to face our mistakes and to say, "I'm sorry," and to move on. And in this moment of facing the vulnerability, I always have the image of the small child. I don't know if this happened to you. I would love to know if this happened to you, but it's impossible for us to be in touch. I remember that as a child, many times I would imagine there are monsters in the closets. And I was scared of the monsters in the closet. And I recall my parents. Sometimes they came, sometimes they didn't. They said, "Please go back to sleep." Today, I'm much more scared of the monsters here. But the idea that somewhere, there is a loving parent that is welcoming us. And even if we didn't have that opportunity, which many people didn't, but the mythological desire is there. We need a loving parent figure to feel vulnerable with. That's what sometimes these transitional objects for kids are, like a teddy bear, something that will protect us. To us to be embraced and to be healed, where we feel vulnerable and weak. And this is what the Avinu Malkeinu is all about. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Vaneinu, Kiyem Banu Maasim, Asei Manu Tzedaka Vachesed V'Oshienu, our parent, have mercy on us, answer us, protect us. For our deeds are insufficient. Deal with us with justice, lovingly, and redeem us. So this is such a sweet call from our vulnerable place. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu ma'asim. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד והושיענו. Together again. אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, חוננו בנינו, כי אין בנו מעשים. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד והושיענו. אבינו מלכנו. Beloved parent figure, beloved protector, hear us, forgive us, source of compassion. And what greater vulnerability in the moment of COVID to pray for healing. COVID-19 has confirmed and put on our face brutally to all of us around the world how vulnerable we are and how interconnected we are. There are no walls that can really separate us. We all need to be healed someday for all to be safe. At least for sure from COVID. We need to ask for healing and to work for healing, to do things for healing. Even if one of those things is social distancing that is producing so much pain. I want to ask Karina to please share a song that she wrote a few months ago that includes a Jewish mantra, El Na Refanala. Please God, heal her. This is a prayer that Moses said for his sister Miriam when was sick from leprosy. Karina extends these words, not only Refana La, but also Refana Lo. Not only Refana, heal her, but heal him, Refana Li, heal me, each one of us. Karina, please.
When you feel under the weather and the world looks cold and gray, and you feel a lump in your throat that you can't cry away, and your body aches and your spirit shakes, yearning to be heard, you can reach out from your deepest pain to hold and to be held. El na refa, na la la la, el na refa, na lo lo lo, el na refa, refa na li, el na refa. refanali. There are people that you know their names. There are people that you don't. There are children, grown-ups everywhere that would love to hear your voice, singing for our health to be bright and well, so that we can join and together paint each and every day our world with healing hope. El na refa, na la la la, el na refa, na lo lo lo, el na refa, refa na li. El na refa, na la la la, el na refa, na lo lo lo, el na refa, refa na li. El na refa, na la la la, el na refa, na lo lo lo, el na refa, refa na li.
Yizkor is one of the most revered moments in the service of Yom Kippur. And Yizkor never happens by itself. There is no such a thing as a service of Yizkor. Yizkor always comes within a context of another holiday. And the genius of bringing a service dedicated to memory, to remember our loved ones who have died. That's what Yizkor is all about, to remember our loved ones who have died. But to remember them in the context of forgiveness. Can you imagine that? About therapeutically in the healing world, we have to remember, we're invited to remember our loved ones now, but in the context of forgiveness. And the question is, what we would like to forgive about them. We would like them to forgive about us. Yizkor tells us that the relationships keeps going. The relationships with our loved ones keep going. I want to be honest with you. I really only understood Yizkor after the death of my parents. And I understood the power of continuing this relationship in the context of forgiveness. and being forgiven. So I would like to take you in a guided meditation to be able to do this holy work. So for this, I invite you to reposition yourself, to be sure that you're seated comfortably, but at the same time in a position that conveys dignity and a wakefulness, with the back straight. We're going to be, for a little while, meditating together. I'm going to take you by the hand. I invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And to visualize a safe space. Visualize yourself seated in a safe space. Could be a place in nature, as I am, but a place that is really yours. Could be a place from the past. Visualize yourself seated in the position that you are, but in that place of absolute safety. And pay attention to your breathing. Neshima, neshama. Breathing and soul are almost the same word. We breathe to our souls, to our memory. And when we pay attention to our breathing, if our mind wanders off, because this is what the mind does, we notice with compassion. But we don't engage. We don't engage. We say to our thoughts, thank you, but not now. And we come back to our breath as many times we need. And now I invite you to visualize in the place that you are seated, the door. Since it's all part of your imagination, you could put a door anywhere. Even if you're on the beach. Wherever you are, imagine that suddenly a door appears. And the door is open. And there is a staircase. A staircase that has beautiful light, warm light. Very inviting. There is nothing scary about it. On the contrary. Beautiful staircase. Very inviting, very loving. And we are going to go down to the place of the called Mama Daka, the still small voice of the soul that Jessie was singing before, will be singing. Will be singing. And we go to the called Mama Daka, the still small voice of the soul. A place of peace and tranquility and equanimity. And we go down in silence together. 21 steps. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have arrived to a place down there in our subconscious, the place of where our still small voice resides. And we are seated in a beautiful, cushiony sofa, and the place looks lovely. We're surrounded by pictures of the people we love, and there is another door. There's another door that begins to open up, and our loved ones that we are remembering today are going to come one by one and are going to be seated in front of you with a smile. And just listen what they have to tell you. And you tell them what you have to tell them. One by one, they come and sit in front of you. And they tell you whatever they need to tell you. Things that live inside of your memory, they're becoming a reality in this moment. And you tell them whatever you need to tell them. One by one. It's not a dialogue. First they speak, you listen, then you speak, and they listen. One by one, you kiss them, you hug them. There's no social distancing in our memory. One by one, they sit with us. Embrace them in loving memory. And as they leave, we bow to them after hugging them and kissing them, if that's what we feel to do. One by one, they leave through the same door they came in. And we're grateful. We're grateful for their presence. And we're grateful to that place that welcomed them and welcomed us. A place that we can come back whenever we want. Because it's a place of Yizkor, of memory that lives inside of us. Memory and forgiveness. Memory and compassion. Memory and letting go. And there's the staircase. Invite us to go up again. Together. Step by step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and we have arrived to the first place where we felt safe. We visualize ourselves there. If you still could be with your eyes closed. I'm going to say the formula, and then you say the names of whom you're remembering. Yizkor Elohim et Nishmat. Please, God, remember the soul of. Say the name. Yizkor Elohim et Nishmat. Say this as many times as people you're remembering. Yizkor Elohim et Nishmat. Please remember God, the soul of. Yizkor Elohim et Nishmat. Yizkor Elohim et Nishmat. Yizkor Elohim et Nishmat. Yizkor Elohim et Nishmat. And you visualize the place that you're sitting now, as you are now in the place that you're at. Visualize yourself like I am here in our garden with Karina very close to me. And I know that I have the screen with Jessie. So visualize yourself where you are, and if you feel you're ready to open your eyes, please do so. And I'm going to say the El Maleh Rachamim. The text is going to appear in a moment. If you feel, you can rise to honor the memory of your loved ones. Please do so. El Maleh Rachamim, Shochem Bamromim, אמצא מנוחה נכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה במעלות, קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים, לנשמות כל אלה, שהזכרנו היום לברכה, שהלכו לעולמם. בגן עדן תהי מנוחתם, ענווה לרחמים, אשתירם בסתר כנפיך, לעולמים וצרור בצרור החיים, את נשמותיכם, אדוני הוא נחלתם, ואנוכו בשלום על משאבותיכם, ונאמר אמן. Exalted, compassionate God, grant perfect peace in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure, whose radiance is like the heavens, to the souls of all those we have recalled today. May their memory be a blessing, and may they rest in peace in paradise. Master of mercy, may they find eternal shelter beneath your sheltering wings, and may their souls be bound up in the bond of life. Adonai is their portion. May they rest in peace. And let us say amen. The Kaddish, the mourner's Kaddish, is a prayer for the deceased that is written in Aramaic because it was the vernacular of those days. So we're going to say it because it's really, it goes even with the rhythm, it's something that embraces us in memory. But imagine that you're saying the words that you would like to say also in your own language when you honor the memory of the loved ones. And bring their memory. If you don't have anybody to say Kaddish for, bring the memory of somebody that you love, that died, and respond, because the most important part is the response. The Amen, the Brichu, Baruch Baruch Shemo. There's sections there. But if you cannot say it because you don't know it, just feel it. Feel the embodied presence of memory that comes through the Kaddish. Those who would like to say it or have to say, please with me. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא דברה חילותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מברך לעולם עולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתואר ויתרומם ויתנשא. יתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשא בריחו. אלא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה. אמירם מעלמא וימרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה משמיא וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום בדרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. While we download all these memories. I invite Karina to chant Psalm 23, which is also traditionally said in this moment of Yizkor. Let Karina's voice and the psalm be an embrace for this moment of memory.
Adonai rohi lo echsar binot sheyar bitzeni al mei menu uchot yena Haleni nafshi yeshovev yancheni v'maglei tzedek leman Shemo Gam ki elech begel tzal mavet lo irhara ki ata imadi shivtecha umishantecha hema yinachamuni Tarhoch lefanai shulchan neged zorerai dishanta vashemen roshi kosi revaya Ach tov v'chesed hirnefuni kol yemei chayai v'shavti beveit Adonai. Le'orech Yamim.
And Musaf comes from the word leosif, Musafah, which means additional. And the Musaf prayers in the Yom Kippur service, there are some moments that we are rescuing and highlighting in this Yom Kippur prayer experience. So allow yourself to feel what extra thing, what additional gift, offering we have to offer ourselves during the day of Yom Kippur that still lasts. What is the extra mile that we can do to feel an echo of an echo of an echo of the voice of the mystery? still small voice will be heard. Still small voice will be heard. Where does it reside in our bodies? Where does it reside, the still small voice? That is a nitzotz Hashem, that is a spark of the divine, of the mystery, of the meaning beyond absurdity. There is a place where that voice resides that we crush, put away, we don't listen to, we impose things on top of it. And this Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is an opportunity to listen to this voice. And we say in Rosh Hashanah, our destiny is written, and Yom Kippur is sealed. Rosh Hashanah yikatevu, uvyom Yom Kippur yechatemu. Rosh Hashanah yikatevu, uvyom Yom Kippur yechatemu. Tama yavru vechama yevareu, mi yichye umi yamut, mi vekitzo umi lo vekitzo. How many will live inside a fog? How many will feel as if they are dead while being alive? How many will be consumed by confusion? How many by despair? Rosh Hashanah yikatevu, uvyom Yom Kippur yechatemu. Rosh Hashanah yikatevu, uvyom Yom Kippur yechatemu. Mi yiva mayim, umi yiva esh, mi vachere, umi vachaya, mi varav, umi vatzama, mi varash, umi vamagefa. How many will be drowning in unfulfillment? How many will be burned by their own desires? How many will be fighting a war with their own potential? How many will be hungry and thirsty to express themselves from their soul? How many will be buried in the constant fuzz of rushing and expectations and emails and the treadmill of non-stop life? How many will be taken by a plague as we are in the middle of one? How many will be taken by created and artificial plagues, like an addiction? Rosh Hashanah yikatevu, uvyom Yom Kippur yechatemu. Rosh Hashanah yikatevu, uvyom Yom Kippur yechatemu. Mi vachanika, umi vaskila, mi yanua, umi yanua, mi yashkit, umi yetorav, mi yishalev, umi yidyasar, mi yovani, umi yasher, mi shafel, umi Yarun. Who will be too comfortable and complacent to change the status quo, who will have the courage to speak up, who will be consumed by silence, who will accept the uncomfortable place of showing up from a value perspective, who will elevate himself or herself together with others, and who will participate in the spiritual numbness of the world by confronted by abuse and destruction. ותשובה ותפילה וצדקה מעבירים את רוע הגזרה. אדם יסודו מעפר, בסופו לעפר, ונפשו יביא לחמו. משול כחרס הנשבר, הנשבר. But teshuva, tefillah, and tzedakah have the power to transform and harness our destiny. Each person's origin is dust, and each person will return to the earth having spent a life seeking sustenance. Scripture compares a human being to a broken shard, withering glass as shriveled flower, passing shadow of fading cloud, fleeting breeze, scattered dust, a vanishing dream. But you, mystery beyond every mystery, some of us call you God, sovereign, living God. You are ever present. Ve'ata umelech el chai ve'kayam. Ve'ata umelech el chai ve'kayam. Let's take a deep breath. Let's take a deep breath. A deep breath. The great Aleinu, it's a prayer where the body comes into full force. We are, our bodies are part of us, and we prostrate, we go to the floor. Some of us, like me, with back problems, we go almost to the floor. Our homes are a minyan me'at, are a temple today. So choose a place in your home where you feel okay to really go down if you feel like it. Because it's a moment to express our humility. The bowing down is saying there is something above and beyond my own narcissism. There's something above and beyond the narrative that they tell about myself. And the position of the body going down the floor, bowing down, conveys that humility. And we go to the level where we can see almost the humility of the other. Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav used to talk about the Nekudat Tova, the dot of goodness. Imagine if we would be able to talk from our dot of goodness to the dot of goodness of the other. So imagine if we could talk from the anava, from the humility to the humility, but not false humility, real humility. So let humility find you in this moment. Don't worry about the screen, move furniture around. I'm going to move to the side. I don't think you're going to be able to see me. Maybe a little bit here. I'm going to bow to the side. I hope you're going to be able to hear me. Let's not leave the body aside. לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות ולא שמענו כמשפחות אדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל עמונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא יאי ראי 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 יאי ראי ראי In a moment, I will offer a final blessing, a final wish. But let's remember that Yom Kippur doesn't end. Yom Kippur doesn't end. Still many hours to go. Stay inside. We'll ask Karina to come, my beloved, my soulmate, my partner, to come closer. I want to say thank you before going into the final blessing. Thank you to Jessie. We've been working together for so many years. Thank you to Kari for your partnership and your love in creating the Teshuvah puzzle process and this service and this experience. Thank you, Jonathan, for all your caring. So I invite all of you to embrace each other physically, if you're with family, or spiritually. If you are with friends or if you are alone, but you have in mind maybe the memory of loved ones who are not here with you, maybe other friends, the loved ones that came for you during Yizkor. Let's feel the presence of this music, which is the High Holidays music, that tells us that this is a special time. And we ask you, God, mystery above mysteries, to help us to be humbled, to say, I'm sorry for whatever we have done. Help us to participate in the healing of ourselves, of our families, our communities, our countries, our world. Inspire us to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Inspire us to scream when we see injustice perpetrated against anybody of whatever color, religion, sexual orientation. Help us to understand that we are one humanity, that the tears of pain, of suffering, taste the same in any color. Help us to elevate the conversation to the aspirational, to the possible, so we can contribute to the healing of this world. Grant consolation to those who have lost family members during this time, those who have lost family members and friends due to COVID. Grant them consolation and strength. And help us, to all of us, to find an echo of an echo of an echo of your voice, and to contribute all together, wherever we are, to make the world, this world, the only one we have, a place with more peace, more equanimity, more love, more justice, more respect for the earth, for the animals, and for ourselves. Inspire us to help to make that change happen. Adonai Oz le'amo iten. Adonai yivarech et imav b'shalom. Shana tova v'chatima tova.